Hey everyone, welcome to Tubby Time. Josh and Kayla coming to you again for our second episode, and we're doing a Tubby cooking episode today, coming to you live from our, well, not really live, but from our kitchen. Today we wanted to do something sort of warming for the soul, I guess you could say, right? Because it's a comfort food. It's a crappy day out, there's rain, it's just terrible. So we wanted to make a beef stew recipe today. And to make it even better, we're going to be doing it in our Instapot. The Instapot is something we haven't really been using much, but we do love this amazing device, and we hope that we can use it for many other recipes. We're still trying to learn it, but we're going to bring you through it and sort of show you how we make what we call Lazy Man's beef stew. And this is Kayla's recipe, so I'm going to shut up now.
Okay, I'm going to show you all the ingredients that we're going to need for the beef stew. Beef broth. You do not need this much, only 1 to 2 cups, but they had no more small cans, so we got a box of it. Chopped garlic. You could buy garlic, but we're too lazy for that. We're going to chop up an onion. I won't be because I cry every time, but we use an onion. We're going to peel and cut up the potatoes, then boil them and make mashed potatoes. You can just chop up the potatoes and put them in the beef stew. I like doing mashed potatoes and then putting the beef stew over it as opposed to having chopped up potatoes in the beef stew. And then we have mixed frozen vegetables. Like I said, we are lazy, so we don't use fresh vegetables. The recipe also calls for some tomato sauce, some Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of olive oil so we can cook the beef, just a tiny bit of cornstarch. You don't need a lot, just a tablespoon or so. Just a little bit of Italian seasoning, and then you're just gonna flavor it with some salt and some pepper, and that's it.
All right, starting with our beef, we have 2 3/4 pounds of beef, round stew beef. Could just get stew beef and chop it up, but we decided we were lazy and didn't do that. So we're going to go over our Instapot, put it on saute, and make sure you get that lid off. The saute setting we're going to use to brown the beef before cooking it. We're just going to throw a little bit of olive oil to cover the bottom of the pot and go ahead and throw in our beef. Now, pro tip here, make sure your beef is thawed before you put it in your Instapot. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a situation like this. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're just going to put that in there and let it do its thing. Another thing you can do is not put it all in at once. Otherwise, yeah. So try to spread out your beef a little bit and make sure it gets brown on every side and not put it in like we did.
Now I am measuring out 2 teaspoons of the Worcestershire sauce and measuring out 2.5 cups of the beef broth. And a couple teaspoons of garlic. Did a little bit extra there. We like garlic.
And I'm managing the ingredients there. All right, so after our beef's browned on every side, or for the most part it was frozen, we're going to add some salt, pepper, and Italian seasoning. Just go by taste here. I added a little bit of olive oil as well. And we just stir it up until it's nice and blended. And while that's cooking a little more, we're going to chop up an onion. And pay no attention to my amazing onion chopping skills here. This is something I learned in my free time. So you can do any size cut of onion. We just prefer bigger chunks of onion, so cut that up, put it into the Instapot, and we start mixing our ingredients, our Worcester sauce, our garlic, and our, how many cups of tomato sauce was that?
That was 1.25 cups of tomato sauce.
We didn't mention that before. And our beef broth to just mix it all together. And last but not least, we are going to add our frozen vegetables. We just use 1 bag. I can't remember how big of a bag, but it's got your peas, corn, carrots, green beans, yeah, all that good stuff.
16 ounces.
16 ounces, good. Mix it together till it's blended like so. And then we are going to throw on our lid to our Instapot. And we're going to set it on pressure cook. And we're going to use the high setting. Most Instapots pressure cooks located right there. Make sure it's on high, and we're going to back the time down to approximately 35 minutes. And remember, with an Instapot, you got to let it come to pressure before it cooks. So you have about 10 minutes there extra.
So while that's cooking, I'm starting to peel the potatoes. It's a little difficult at the moment, only because they were a little soft, but no brown on the inside, which means they're still good. So I'm just cutting those up. I think we cut about 5 potatoes up, 5 or 6. We like leftovers, so we didn't have to do that many. And then I'm putting them on the stove, medium heat with some water. Also add some salt in the pot, and you just check them until they're nice and soft, which they seem good there. Going to drain them, steam up the camera, and then after that you just rinse them off a little bit, get all that extra starch off, cool them down a tad. I then put them in a pot, add a whole stick of butter, and I'm using some onion powder for flavoring. Usually I like putting some actual onion in, but Josh decided to use the whole onion on the beef stew.
Took priority there.
Yeah, I told him to take a quarter out for the potatoes, but he forgot. So just adding our attachment on, and that extra piece just helps from things flying out of the bowl.
Now, do you need a KitchenAid in order to make mashed potatoes?
Definitely.
Oh, okay.
So much easier. So just scraping down the sides there. Still a few chunks. I used heavy whipping cream, makes the potatoes a little bit creamier. You don't have to use whipping cream. Regular heavy cream will do, except there was none left at Big Y, so heavy whipping cream it was. Or Stop and Shop, wherever we got it. Just going to mix that a little bit more, scrape down the sides, and there you have mashed potatoes.
Beautiful. All right, now our Instant Pot is done cooking, but remember, you gotta let it sit, and then you get your hand slapped if you try to quick release right away. This recipe sits natural release for 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes is up, you can go ahead and press your quick release button on the back of the unit to get all that steam out.
And I'm just adding the last few ingredients. A couple teaspoons of water with cornstarch, mixing that up with a knife, because I think I already had a knife out.
Because we don't have any spoons, yeah. All right. So then after that 10 minutes is up, I think I did 12 minutes, we reveal our finished product after all the steam's been vented out, and we're just going to add in that cornstarch mixture. We actually added in a little bit more than the recipe called for. We wanted our beef stew a little bit thicker, and that's the job it's doing. So you can add in a little bit more if you don't like the 2 tablespoons or whatever. Alrighty, we have our mashed potato base here, and like we said before, a lot of people like to put mashed potatoes right into their beef stew.
No, not mashed potatoes in the beef stew.
Cut up potatoes. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, they like to put cut up potatoes in their beef stew. We like doing mash and covering it. So let's pour some of this out and see what it looks like. That is amazing.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I want some beef in that. Yeah. Let's see what this tastes like. Cheers. Hot.
Very good.
No, I'm just kidding. It's really good. Wow. Needs pepper.
No.
I think it needs pepper. Needs pepper?
No.
I think it needs pepper. Anyway, that concludes another episode of Tubby Time.
Tubby Cooks.
Tubby Cooks. Yeah, we changed the name. Join us next time when we make something else. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe and like our channel. We're just starting out, so don't be too rough on us. Thanks. Take care, and thanks for watching.